All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what is going on in Israel in the Gaza war. The IDF says that they're going to be trying to move people from Rafah to Humanitarian Islands. Okay, let's talk about what that means. So the IDF has said that they're going to be invading Rafah. Rafah was supposed to be where everybody was supposed to be safe. If you remember, everybody was in the north. All these Palestinians were in the north, most of them. Gaza City's in the north. And they said, evacuate, evacuate, evacuate. Everybody get south, go south, go south. They moved south. And then they said to the people, evacuate some more. Keep going south. And they started pushing everybody to the Rafah border. Now, this is something that I said would happen, that this was clearly the plan from the very beginning, that they were going to systematically move people from the north all the way to the south and keep them moving and keep them moving, keeping them moving, hoping that these people will then flood into Egypt and that they will just be able to clear the entire strip and, there won't be any Palestinians there anymore. And so that'll be the end of that. Ethnic cleansing completely. Egypt is obviously pushing back on that. They're saying, no way, we're not going to do that. And so now the IDF, and you've got a lot of pressure now from the United States, who's finally coming forward saying, we don't think it's a great idea for you to push these people into Egypt. We're not really down for the whole ethnic cleansing campaign you have in mind, Netanyahu. So let's cool it on that. So Netanyahu says, I'm still going to invade Rafah. So now they've said, okay, well, what are you going to do then with all of these civilians who are in Rafah? You've got to move them somewhere. You can't just bombard them after you've told all of these 2 million people to go. So this is what they're saying now. The IDF says it plans to direct a significant portion of the 1.4 million displaced Palestinians trapped in Rafah towards what they're calling humanitarian islands. That's the new word that they're using for concentration camp. That's what that sounds to me like. What's a humanitarian island? They're saying that this will be in the center of the. So first, when you hear humanitarian island, you're thinking you're going to get rid of these people. You're going to move them to some islands. I don't know where these islands would be, but you're going to, make islands, build islands in the middle of the ocean. You're going to ship people there. That's what comes to mind right away because it's such an odd usage of the word. But then they clarified and they said, oh, no, these humanitarian islands would be in the center of the territory. And they want to move these people before they do this Rafah invasion. They're saying this was IDF spokesman Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari speaking. He did a press conference saying that they would be turning to the international community to help build these humanitarian islands and that these islands would provide temporary housing, food, water, and other necessities to evacuated Palestinians. So yeah, sounds a lot like a concentration camp. You're going to be putting people in these little islands, otherwise known as camps, that they're maybe not able to come and go from. They're going to be given some housing, food, and water, and some other necessities, but you're going to keep them there, and they're temporary, is what they're saying. Why would they be temporary? They've already cleared the north. They said, we cleared the north. We did all the things that we need to do there. Now we keep moving south. Well, then let the people return north and start the rebuilding process. But they don't want to do that. So they're saying, no, instead, this is good. And why do you need to bring in international actors? Why do you need to bring in people? Why can't you do it? I mean, Israel's getting so much money from us. Why are they not responsible for ensuring that the people who are under their care, essentially, which are all the Palestinian people, they're under their control. So why aren't they rebuilding? Why aren't they looking at more permanent solutions? They're saying, no, this is still temporary, and they're calling them humanitarian islands. And they're asking the international community to come in and do it for them after they destroyed the place. Really bold of them to be making these claims and asking for that. But they are. So I mean, look, I think that this is just another word for concentration camp. This is not only that, but the biggest problem that a lot of people are having is that the IDF has continued to say to people, move, move, move. This is your safe zone. And then once they get there, they bombard them. So now they're wanting to round these people up into these camps where I guess it would be easier, or these islands. They don't want to say humanitarian camp. Maybe that's why they use the word island. They didn't know what else to say. They were like, well, we can't call it a camp. That wouldn't be right. That would be too obvious with what we're doing. And so, and then what? Once they get these people into these camps, what are they going to do to them then? That would be such an, so this is just a disaster. Why is the United States continuing to fund this and help? It couldn't get more obvious what's actually happening there. Now, some people say, no, it's not a It's not a genocide. It's not ethnic cleansing. I don't know what else you call it when you've got 2.2 million people who've been effectively displaced in the entire region. And now 1.4 million of those displaced Palestinians from the north are in the south, and they're being told to leave again, as well as the people who are already in Rafah. They're being told to leave. I mean, how do you shove around 2 million people over and over and over again in such a short period of time, the matter of weeks, months? But the IDF is doing it. So that is the latest. I don't know. I would hope that the U.S. pushes back on this whole idea of humanitarian islands, camps. And I would hope that the international community says, we're not giving you any more money. You need to pay for this. You need to stop destruction, and you need to pay for this. That's what needs to happen in this war. But that's the latest. Humanitarian islands, as they call them. Hey guys, be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you like this segment. Now, you might be wondering, this seems like it's part of a bigger show. You're right, it is. The full show is at KimIversonShow.com. So what you're watching is just a clip. And if you want to get the full experience, then you got to go to KimIversonShow.com. The show airs Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern at KimIversonShow.com. That is where you can watch the full show. Here, you just get clips. So click on the link down below, go to the full show, enjoy. Otherwise, I'll see you next time right here. And be sure, once again, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.